Hello, young or old here, and welcome to my channel. Now, I know you want thrilling and not killing, so I won't be getting naked. Today I want to talk about what naked bikes I like, and what I might own one day. Stay tuned and watch the intro. The Yamaha XJR 1300 is a great looking bike, and it's blessed with that 1300cc engine, elevating it to a muscle bike. I've been told by owners that they handle very well and are actually quite agile. That 1300 engine gives you 105 brake horsepower and it weighs 224 kilo. And with the Yamaha, we've got the VMAX. Now, it goes without saying that these are a serious bike, and the looks are unmistakable. You'd recognise them anywhere. There are many full power versions still around, and owners sing their praises. I know someone who has had two of them, and he rates them a lot. I had a go on one of them, and when that V-boost kicks in, you certainly know to it, and you have to hang on. They're actually 140 brake horsepower, and they weigh 262 kilo. The Honda CB 1300 is another bruiser of a bike. I actually prefer the naked one to the half-aired one, and with that kind of wind and no protection, it'll probably end up giving you a facelift. Owners claim that they handle well, with the faired one being slightly better, but they weigh 236 kilo and produce 113 brake horsepower. So, if you fancy yourself as a bit of an Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, then the Triumph Speed Triple 955 sums it up nicely. I had a green one of these and I did like it. The bike did, feel good. Very different from what I was used to. That triple engine has plenty of grunt, and it made you feel like a right hooligan without doing silly speeds. To be honest, in some ways I do regret selling this, as it was a low mileage bargain. It's 120 brake horsepower and it weighs 189 kilo. Staying with the Speed Triple, the 1050. Now, this was the speedy I was after in the first place, but the bike is a little on the small side and there wasn't much room for me and the wife, so I want to go her on the pillion. A smallish bike with that 1050 triple engine is just going to be fun to ride though. So we decided against the 1050, but as luck would have it, we bought the 955. I would consider a 1050, but it would be my toy to ride on my own. But is that such a bad thing? They're actually 128 brake horsepower and weigh about the same at 189 kilo. Now, if I wanted to go more retro, I actually do like the new Triumph Speedmaster. They seem to be a nice bike in the looks department. They are 77 brake horsepower and 263 kilo. Now, to me, that means it's a little bit on the heavy side for the amount of power it's got. But here again, they're a popular bike, so they probably ride better than the stats add up. The Kawasaki Z900 RS is a great looking bike. It's sort of a remake of the old Z1900 that was all the rage when I was a teenager. I wish the 900 RS had the twin pipes, one on each side, just like the older one. Two pipes always seem to look more balanced from the rear in my book, but they are still a very nice bike. They have 111 brake horsepower and they weigh in at 186 kilos. The Yamaha MT-09 has a good reputation. It sort of looks between a naked and an adventure style bike. I quite like the look of them, so I'm putting them on the list. There's a range of MTs to suit most riders. I've not heard any bad reports from any of them. from the owners I've spoken to. Power wise, they're between 115 and 117 and 188 to 189 kilo, depending on what year the bike is. Now let's go back to more of a retro side. I also quite like the Triumph Bonneville T120. I also like the bobber, but the single seat means you can't nip out for a short ride, you know, with a pillion. The T120 has just that bit more oomph, being the larger engine. It's 79 brake horsepower and 236 kilo. Now the Suzuki GSX400 is another big bruiser of a bike. They were very popular in the day, as most bikes had fairing back then, but this bike was popular for the hoes who didn't want the plastic crotch rocket, but they wanted a big powerful naked bike that sort of handled like a sports bike. They have 105 brake horsepower and they weigh 229 kilo. The later two models of the CB TH000 they're both good naked bikes, although the older model does have that little pointed headlight fairing. Now this model has 130 brake horsepower and weighs 217 kilo. The newer version is lighter and more powerful, with 143 brake horsepower and it weighs 212 kilo. The only thing I'm not keen on these is that sort of rear floating mudguard plate holder, but this of course can accidentally fall off and be replaced by a tail tire. The post 2014 Kawasaki Z000 has aggressive styling and looks good with its low slung headlight fairing that basically looks like it's just following the lines of the tank. Sort of a futuristic look. There's not much room for a pillion, but this bike isn't about that. To me, it just looks born to be bad. You get 140 brake horsepower and it weighs 221 kilo. So I hope you enjoyed this content, and I bet you're absolutely pleased it wasn't me who was getting naked. But if you have enjoyed it, please do the ticks to like and subscribe. And as always, take care, ride safe, and bye for now.